So today I'm going to talk about isolating a vibration. I'm going to talk about how easy it is, how important it is, how vital it is, and how tuning into frequencies deliberately, tuning into wanted frequencies like wholeness, like joy, like celebration, like clarity, tuning into those frequencies will help you heal, will help you liberate your default mode network, right? Your programming that keeps you limited in survival emotions, and tuning into frequencies will also help you truly disidentify from the body mind. You can observe the mind, right? You can watch your thoughts. So in a way, you've disidentified from thought, right? And you can notice your feelings. But if your thoughts continue in the same pattern for years, and even though you've been observing your thoughts, right? And even though you've been observing your feelings and saying, that's not me, they continue to create the same inner environment, right? You're trapped and you're hooked in the same cycles of negative emotion, then that is not disidentification. You can't just say, that's not my mind, that's not my thought, oh, that's not me, that's not really me, those emotions. That doesn't really do anything. How to truly disidentify from the body mind and therefore become the master and not just the witness of it is that you have to find the beliefs that keep the thoughts going, and you have to feel the feelings that are trying to keep you in survival. If you avoid them, which 99.99999% of the population is an expert at avoiding their feelings, their emotions, if you would just stop avoiding your emotions, the emotion would tell you about the belief that you have that keeps the emotion going. So many people, for example, have a very deep belief that, and I don't want to say very deep as in hard to access or hard to discover or hard to change. It's not hard to change. It just tends to be realized towards the end of a lot of processing of other thoughts and feelings. But there's this belief that God is punishing me, right? Even if you've seen like, I am God, I am, an emanation of the divine. If life happens to you and you tend to collapse your energy and believe that you're trapped and believe that there's no solutions, if something happens to your body and you assume that the worst case scenario is going to happen, well, then that's not truly being disidentified from the body mind, because the body mind is still showing you that you still believe certain things about yourself and about life. So it's useful to allow yourself to truly and deeply feel something, not only useful, but vital, because those feelings that are arising, right? That grief, that loneliness that is arising is a gateway for you to experience so that you can realize that on the other side of this feeling, of this emotion, is your liberation. A negative emotion is always trying to liberate itself. Because why? Because God is love. God is not punishment. Life is not chaos. Life is order. Life is love. So how do you know that you're not really disidentified from the body mind? Well, if you think about nature, right? We have inhales and exhales, and we have night and day, and we have in-breath and out-breath, and we have cycles, right? What's natural is that at least for half of the day, we're feeling either at peace or better, right? If you are spending your entire day in anxiety, in anger, in low-grade stress, that is not natural. It's normal because of the way the human journey works, but is that the natural state? No. And why do I say 51%? Really, it's much more than 51%, but I don't want to give you the idea that a negative emotion is wrong, ever. Like I said, it's always trying to liberate itself. It's the past trying to liberate you from a limiting belief. And sometimes there are situational things in our life that it's absolutely appropriate and not an unconscious thing to have an emotion about, because we are human and we do experience loss And the spectrum of human emotion is part of our journey. It's part of our experience. It's part of what gives us depth and appreciation. And, you know, for me in my life personally, death has always been my counselor ever since I was a small child. If I would get angry at my parents, I would say, you know, they're not going to be here forever. Like, would you be satisfied if you died today, or if they died today, with how much love you showed them? And the answer to that question is always no for me. And that helps me be more loving and get to know them more. And that's my personal journey. I'm not saying that's what you should do or that's the correct thing to do, but it's the correct thing for me on my path. So, tuning into a frequency. I love this because it's so simple and it's so easy and it's so accessible, and it's just that people don't actually do it. And while you can be creative and make a painting and have an ecstatic dance and go for a walk, right? If you are not consciously aware that you are in a feeling, you're not going to know that you can do it, right? And why is that important? If you know that you can create, when you're in a state of unconsciousness, you don't panic, and therefore you remove a layer of resistance. So we become what we consciously hold in our awareness. So instead of just doing an ecstatic dance, which is great, instead of just being in creator mode and taking photos and painting paintings, right? As you're doing those things, become consciously aware of what it feels like to radiate, to create. It's so common, especially for empaths, to remember what I said, right? We inhale and we exhale. Empaths are amazing receivers, amazing decoders of vibration, amazing discerners, but they are unconsciously identified with their environment many of the time because they're not really feeling their own emotions. And not only that, they're mostly just receiving their environment instead of creating an environment from within, right? So being able to receive the environment, to discern the vibrations of the universe, to receive, to feel, that's absolutely part of our mechanism. But another part of our mechanism is to radiate, and that gets shut down when we're children. So it's important to practice again, and what begins as a discipline will turn into just your natural you, just you. So for many people, right, certain vibrations aren't accessible yet, okay? I love the vibration of wholeness. Wholeness, or the word home. Home means to me, and you can write this, right? Write what a vibration means to you. Home means homeostasis in my body. I'm at home in myself. I'm safe in my emotions. I'm telling my subconscious I'm not running from anything or going towards anything. I'm staying here. I'm home, right? And use an image like a home, maybe a golden castle, to enhance in your conscious awareness the feeling home. Wholeness, right? Wholeness is personally a frequency that I love and that is accessible to me. When I say the word wholeness, it just trickles down my whole body like warm water. It's like a settling feeling. Wholeness. You can use the imagery of your left and your right hemispheres of your brain connecting, and then the brain connecting to the heart. You can use a simple symbol like a heart. If you can't feel wholeness yet, that's okay. Pick a word. Say words out loud, and when you feel a word that has a somatic resonance, right, that you can access and that you can isolate, then do it, right? I love celebration. To me, abundance, right, when I put the word, even joy, right? Abundance really feels like joy to me. It feels like celebration. I walk around my neighborhood with the word joy, right, in my heart chakra, and I listen to music and the work by Remco Arends and the song Luminous, Luminis, and the song Transcendence and the song Alchemica are amazing, amazing audible tools. For me, I am very acoustically sensitive, and right now my focus of meditation is to meditate on frequencies to entrain my body mind into what I already know as a soul. I know what I am. I know I am eternal consciousness. I know I am love. But to the parts of me that don't yet know that, a way to kind of efficiently and speedily, and I'm not saying, you know, some people say, oh, the ego wants you to believe that awakening is quick and awakening is this. I kind of disagree with that, because I see the body and the mind as a vehicle, as a vibrational vehicle, actually layers of vehicles that if you understand the science of it, you can master it in a way. And so why not? Why choose to, a lot of people that believe that they remain in the witness consciousness and the passenger consciousness, they don't realize, even though they're not resisting what's happening, they're not yet creating, which is a part of who we are. We're not just the witness. The witness is one aspect of the soul. We are also the creator, right? We are the moon that receives the light of the sun, and we are the sun that radiates. We are both of these things. And some of us are more of one than the other, and that's wonderful. But so I pick the word joy, and I'm entraining my body, and I hold in my conscious awareness, and it doesn't feel like effort to me anymore, because I've been doing it for a while. But I had a really intense awakening many, many years ago, and I was in a constant state of joy for 2 years, constant bliss. And then I had a series of events in my life that were very challenging and painful, and really exposed to me basically all of my limiting beliefs, and not all of them. I'm sure there's more. But now my joy is coming back. And before, when I had this awakening, I told myself, well, people ask me, are you going to teach? And I'm like, well, this was a spontaneous thing for me. I don't know how to teach it. But what I'm getting now, what's coming through me now, is that yes, it is teachable. It is a science. There is a law of vibration. There is, right? If you can't yet feel your heart, if your heart isn't open yet, just keep putting your attention on it. Keep putting your attention on it. Play soft music and drop your awareness from up here to down here. When you're driving, when you're walking, when you're laying in bed, just feel your tender heart, feel your heartbeat. And like the gravity that kept you up in your head in survival, right? The gravity will begin to go down, right? It will begin to sink into the heart. You can entrain your attention to create a gravity to pull your consciousness into your heart. You can. The idea that everything is a predetermined thing and you have to wait for your moment, I think that is a trickster thought. That is not true, at least from my perspective. So find a word that works for you, right? I love joy. I love celebration. Those are accessible to me. Home, fun, me, even the word me, it's such a relief, for so many people to take off the masks that they've been wearing, and the energy that they've been using to be anything than what they are. And on a soul level, that just me is enough. Me, what does that mean to you personally? When you say that word, how does it vibrate in your body? How does it make you feel? Right? Hold it in your conscious awareness. This is what I feel like. This is the song of my soul. So use words, right? Go through different words, different energies, right? Maybe bliss and wholeness and unconditional love don't resonate with you yet. What about higher love? What about Divine Mother? And I'm putting out all of these options just so that you can go through your own and find words that really are somatically accessible to you, and then milk them, right? Is it passion? Is it freedom? If you walk to that song Alchemica by Remco Ahrens and you imagine huge wings, right? Use imagery to enhance the feeling. Walk around your neighborhood with huge wings and feel yourself free, completely free. What does freedom feel like? Feel it. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Enhance it in your awareness. Enhance it. Feel it expanding in your awareness. And before you know it, you're just going to be free. You're going to feel free. You're not going to feel in your life that anything has put you in a corner, or that you are doomed or that you are trapped. Practicing the feeling of freedom will actually translate into your physical life as being able to navigate the challenges of human life with confidence, with power. And that power is called love. It's the love of your creative ability. It's the love of your heart. It's the love of your soul. It's the eternalness of you. So some people like courage. You know, some people like I really love the love of God, right? If you ask, a really cool thing that I learned actually at an event that I went to was when you're in the void, right? Activate your frontal lobe and ask a question to the source. And I asked, how much does God love me? And mind you, I know what I am. And I also know that I am experiencing myself in different dimensions. And as an individual, right, when I say the love of God, it still deeply resonates with me. And then in another moment, saying the love of God doesn't make sense because that's myself. But it's always changing. Sometimes it resonates and sometimes it doesn't make sense. But I asked that question, how much does God love me? And I felt this incredible, like the strongest, like golden laser beam come through the top of my head and straight into my heart and pierced my heart. And I was just in this orgasmic reverie of receiving the love of God. Another way to feel with fullness, right, the qualities of the divine is when you meditate in the void, right? This is something that I like to share with people. When you meditate in the void, right, instead of just closing your eyes and kind of disappearing into some void space, consider the void like a velvety, inky substance that consumes you. It's almost, it makes love to you. It consumes you. It's inky. It's a substance. Go into the substance with your body and let the substance dissolve you. And then when you feel dissolved in that void, and use these musics by Remco Arends to help you anchor this in your body. When you are consumed in the blackness, go through some words. The love of God, wholeness, unconditional love, joy, ecstasy, perfection, design, harmony. Harmony, when I said that word harmony, I literally saw a fractal open up from me, the source, and open up like a kaleidoscope. Use the word and find something somatically accessible to you. And when you feel something that resonates, when you feel something that resonates through your being, use it. Hold it in your awareness. Hold it in your conscious awareness. Expand it. Radiate it out from the center of you. You are the source. Radiate it out from yourself. And before you know it, you will just feel your soul radiating from you. And your soul has all these qualities already. Your soul is excited to be here. Your soul loves all beings. Your soul is so absorbing the beauty and the ecstasy of the colors and the textures of your environment. Your soul is so happy of its own evident self-existence. Those are its natural qualities, and you can access the soul by tuning into any of the qualities that resonate with you, that open your energy, right? What does that mean? Anything that makes you feel deeply rested, anything that opens the chakras. When you meditate on a frequency, right? A lot of sensitive people, a lot of people that have experienced a lot of trauma in their life, their root chakra is closed or it's vacant. So when you meditate on a frequency, right, but specifically in the root chakra, if you meditate on the feeling of sturdiness, stillness, stability, right? If you show yourself that you can create that vibration, you will no longer feel overwhelmed in your environment. And when you create deliberately in a chakra, it opens up. So the sensitive, and often anybody who's been traumatized, who doesn't feel a strong desire to be in the physical world, those people have a hard time manifesting because they don't come in, the spirit doesn't come into the root chakra. So one of the ways to open the root chakra is to pick a frequency, is to create the world that you want to live in. And then the spirit will drop into the root chakra, which is your presence on earth, and it will express. It will express, it will show up in your physical life. And how will that look? That will look like just having desires to try new things, not avoiding new experiences, right? When the unknown starts to play with you, right? If you're still in your survival emotions, you will say no to new opportunities because you want to cling to your ritual and your routine, and that's okay. Do that if that's what makes you feel safe for now. But realize that when you are tuning into your true nature, which is unlimited potential and unlimited possibility, when new things start to show up, that's the field talking to you. So feel into it. Are you going to try it out and say yes? You're free. If you say yes to an opportunity, you're free to leave it if it doesn't feel comfortable. You're free. You're always free, right? If you practice that vibration of freedom, you won't feel confined by anything. You'll try new things. You'll feel free to go. You'll feel free to say no. You'll feel free to do things on your own terms, in your own way, in a way that makes you comfortable. You'll just make things happen for yourself in a very comfortable way. But when you start to tune into frequencies of joy, of wholeness, of, use images like an angel, right? In the second chakra. Oh, this is so sweet because I'm feeling the energy of it. I love the energy of Mother Mary or any feminine divine mother archetype. Anandamayi Ma. If you create that feeling of nourishment and you isolate the vibration of nourishment, and it feels sweet and it feels easy to absorb and it feels like a pink energetic hug from the inside in all of your cells. If you isolate it and feel it, the second chakra will open, will soften, will open, and your spirit will come in and you will be more creative, right? If you create the world that you want to live in, spirit will come in and occupy your vehicles, right? Your causal and mental and emotional, etheric and physical bodies. So you can sit and observe for as long as you'd like. But if you are still having the same loops, right? If you're still in the same loops of fierce anger and resentment and bitterness, press yourself into that and crucify yourself to that energy and let it liberate itself. Feel the bitterness, feel the rage, feel the loneliness. The emotion itself is what we are avoiding. Because once you feel something, when you let yourself feel alone, and notice how much we resist that feeling, and that makes sense because the separation is the original wound. If everyone in your life has disappeared and you have nobody to turn to, and your best friend disappeared and you got divorced and you're blah blah and everybody is gone, good. It's an opportunity for you to walk through the gate of loneliness, or whatever gate it is for you. Jealousy, envy, bitterness. You have the power, your presence has the power to dissolve that energy and repurpose it into creative bandwidth. And when you are willing to feel your emotions, you're telling the subconscious, I am no longer on the wheel of karma, because I'm no longer avoiding pain and going towards pleasure. I'm just here. I'm here. I want to live. I'm not afraid of my emotions. And maybe I have fear, but I can feel fear. Fear is safe. It's just sensation. But when you feel free, right, you feel free to feel your feelings, and you feel able to know that you can create through challenges in your life. But beyond navigating challenges, you have creative bandwidth to create life the way that you want to create it. And that is important, and it is not shallow. Because in order to truly live in the frequencies of divine love, right, it's important that we show ourselves that we can create a life for ourselves where we are no longer in survival. So that doesn't just mean creating a safe home and enough money. That means realizing that my survival self is my old self, and I have the ability to feel it, to be with it. When I am trying to tune into a frequency and it's trying to distract me with petty thoughts, with anger, with an itchy body, with blurry vision, realize that's just the animal self trying to unseat you. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. That's just the part of you that's still in survival that is trying to unseat you. Work with it. Work with it. And eventually it will surrender to you. It will. Because if you create the world that you want to live in, if you create safety and you create joy and you create celebration, then the body will start to trust you. Right? So if you truly want to disidentify from the body mind, you have to feel your feelings. You have to pull yourself out of the default mode network, and that doesn't mean never feeling an emotion. Feel your emotions, liberate them, don't suppress them, don't repress them. But if you're always stuck in them, right, that's different. There's a situationally appropriate grief, right? When we experience loss, anger, all of that is okay, it's right, it's correct, it's part of our human experience. But if you're stuck in it, if you are repeating it, if you are reliving it, right, that is the body mind that you are still identified with. Because if you weren't, why would you be allowing yourself to run these programs, right? Stop allowing it. Stop allowing it. Bring yourself back into the present moment when the body is doing this, when the body is trying to unseat you. And then instead of just canceling out all of your default mode programming, right, you will begin to actually have enough bandwidth to radiate and create, right? Yogananda said, yes, we do create our reality, but most people don't have the bandwidth to create because, and he didn't use these words, but he said basically all of your bandwidth is stuck in your default mode network and your survival programming. So if that's the case for you, just be honest about it. What are you going to do about it? Is most of your day spent in mind wandering and chatter and in stressful emotions, right? Start to tune into a new frequency. Start to choose new energies and choose them over and over and over and over and over again. In the same way that you had so many impacts as a child that led your heart to close, you have the ability to open yourself back up. You just have to have the will to do it. So I hope this message is helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful day.